Hi, I'm back. Okay, this I think is going to conclude the third series of video lectures addressing your second badge, our intermediate level Excel badge. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap it up by talking about conditional formatting a little bit more, and I'm going to throw in something about images on spreadsheets as well. Okay, so when we left off, I had demonstrated to you how we can use different conditions for multiple cells and manage them. Okay. I indicated that we were trying to maximize spread between sales and costs. That wasn't completely accurate. I was trying to highlight spreads between sales and costs within a certain range. Okay, so I just do want to clear that up to be accurate, and I showed you how to do that with different colored highlightings. Okay, now one student, I'm customizing a little bit here by request of one person in particular, who said, Mr. Adams, what does this format as table tab mean right next to where it says conditional formatting that we've been using so much? Well, I've told you several times throughout this lecture series that Excel tends to give us more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. They give us multiple alternatives in how to achieve certain things. Setting my timer here. And we've learned how to insert tables already. We learned a couple of ways to insert tables. And that is simply another one, format as table. Okay, now if you want to use conditional formatting, like we have done quite a bit up here on this data, you can set all this up as a table in advance and then do your conditional formatting, or you could do your formatting and then format it as a table. Either way will work, okay? So if I want to set up a table, I can highlight what I want to set up as before. I can do as before, insert table, okay? But if I just want to click on this one little tab that Excel is very conveniently placed there for us, format as table, I choose a format. How about that one? Okay, you see what happens. All right, and now I can go and apply my conditional formatting just like before. I'm going to go back to home here. I'm going to click on conditional formatting, highlight cells. I'm going to say greater than 90,000. I've already done this. I'm just repeating for you. And past cost, I'm going to do the same thing we did in my previous lecture, highlight less than 100,000. And as I recall, I made it green. I'm going to click on green. Now I'm speeding through this because that's just a fast review for a different reason, okay? So once again, now in tabular format, you can see sales meeting my condition, cost meeting my condition, and I chose 3 different areas to focus on where I saw an overlap of highlighting for both sales and cost. They were Rhode Island. I also saw one for New Hampshire, and I saw one for New York as well. Okay, so that's just a quick review, and now I've thrown in tables as well. I'm going to back out of all those. Okay, then I want to show you one more thing about customizing your formatting. All right, let's highlight sales. And let's do a conditional formatting, highlight, greater than, just like before. Now if I click on OK, friends, anything greater than 90,000, okay, is going to highlight in that burgundy on pink that we've become accustomed to. Now let's say I want to change that. You want to make it your own because you have an artistic eye, or maybe you simply don't like pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my highlighting just like it is, my conditional formatting. I'm going to click on conditional formatting again. Okay, I'm going to click on Manage Rules, the last choice in the drop-down. I left-click on that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Edit Rule in the lower left. Okay, now this is how I can choose my color, and none of these really floats my boat, so I'm going to come down here to Custom Format. All right, I'm going to choose for my font, how about, see where it says color right there? I click on font, now I'm clicking on color, and I want to choose yellow. Okay, now yellow on white, that's kind of bogus, I think you'll agree. But it won't be if I also choose a fill that's darker. So up at the top of the Format Cells drop-down, I'm going to left-click on Fill. Background color, I'm going to pick, how about dark green? Yeah, that's good. Now I'm going to click on OK. I click on OK again. And you can see that I've got my conditional formatting just like before, but instead of burgundy on pink. I've now got bright yellow on medium shade green. Okay, all of that is within your power, so you can control aesthetics as well as the mathematical and true-false conditions that we've used in this section to define formatting. Okay, I'm going to back out of there. All right, and that brings us pretty much to the end of conditional formatting, formatting as table, and all of the other things we did in the first and second videos on conditional formatting. The final thing I want to do with you, even though it doesn't really have to do with conditional formatting, is answer this question because I have time left over. How do I add an image to a spreadsheet? Now remember, tables are objects, imports from other types of programs like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. Those are objects as well, okay? So an object is something produced by, it's produced somewhere else, let me put it that way, and you have the ability to import it into this spreadsheet. And that can be pretty useful. So there are two ways that I can put an image into my spreadsheet. Now I like to work with JPEGs, JPEG. You can use GIFs, GIF if you wish. There are many different formats. I advise sticking with JPEG because it has given me the fewest conflicts with other programs. It's kind of a universal language, if you will. So how do I insert an object? Well, first you have to have an object. That object can already be on your computer. It can be on the internet. You can bring it in directly if you have a more advanced version of Excel. I just bring everything onto my computer first. So I'm going to start with something I've already got on my computer, stored on my computer. So come up here to your green bar and click on the Insert tab, and now I've got the Insert ribbon. And look at the fourth icon over. You've seen this ribbon before for tables. Now what I'm going to do is use the one that says Pictures. Okay? I'm going to left click on Picture from File, and I'm going to go find a picture. I'm going to go to, let me see, I've got some pictures here in my personal directory. All right, here's one of myself and my puppy. It's a JPEG, as you can see. The second file down, I'm going to double click that. Double left click. Okay, and that's a picture of my puppy, Abby, and myself. Okay, so I can move that around within my Excel spreadsheet by left click and holding anywhere in that picture, and I just slide it around. I can resize that picture by grabbing one of the handles. Okay, I can grab the ones in the center and compress it. I can do it from left or right. Left click, hold and slide, and I can change the overall size of that picture. That looks pretty good, wouldn't you say? Okay. All right, let's get rid of that. And let's see if, and I'm just going to I'm going to undo all of those changes and slide right back out. I could have also selected that picture and hit delete. Remember, we've got multiple ways we can do things in Excel. Okay, so I've showed you a picture stored on my computer. Let's say we're putting a presentation together and we want to go get a picture of a celebrity. I'm in Google. I tell you what, why don't we look up Steve Jobs? Okay, the founder of Apple. Okay, there must be all kinds of pictures of this dude. So I'm going to click on Images. If you're a Googler like I am, you know all this. Well, there are all kinds of cool pictures. All right, this one's kind of mysterious. All right, so I'm going to left click on one of these very ominous looking pictures of Mr. Jobs. I am going to right click. I'm going to left click on Save Image As. Okay. And I'm going to drop him in my Dropbox. So I'm going to say this is Steve. Okay. All right. And now in my Dropbox, there's Steve. You'll notice it's saved as a JPEG. Okay. I don't believe I'm violating any copyrights by doing this, but this is purely for illustrative purposes. Okay. Now back to Excel. I want to put that picture of Steve right into my Excel spreadsheet because maybe I'm doing a history of the development of some of Steve Jobs' greatest programs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a picture from File. Okay, I'm going to go to my Dropbox. That's where I stored Steve. There he is. I'm going to double click on steve.jpg, and there he is. And you can do the same thing. You can blow him up, you can shrink him down, and Artistic effects. Now I'm back here in the ribbon. You can play around with this a little bit and have some fun with Steve. Artistic effects. Look at all the things you can do with this poor dude, okay? You can make him look like, I don't know what you'd call that, something that illustrator Peter Max back in the 70s would have done. Okay, artistic effects. You can, you can do this Kenneth Burns type of thing. So you can have all kinds of fun with pictures as well. You don't just have to accept the one that the internet was kind enough to give us, okay? All right, I hope you found that handy. That was from an online source. Now, once again, more advanced versions of Excel might give you a slightly different command to go grab something without saving it onto your computer. Okay, but I will leave that to you. Either way, the commands are going to be very intuitive and easy to follow. Let's get rid of Steve, so to speak. Pardon me, sir. And one final thing I want to show you is about backgrounds. Okay, if you don't like any of the backgrounds, you notice that I use pale yellow up here, I use bright yellow here. I'm a background fanatic, but once in a while I like to get a little bit fancy with it. So you can go out to the internet, and I'm just going to do a Google search rather on color background. I will be testing you on something like this. I misspelled background. I apologize for that. I'll be quizzing you on something like this. So even though this is an add-on to conditional formatting, please do pay attention to it. Oh, okay. Now look at this. I kind of like that blue that you see right here. Okay, on the left, the third one down on the left. All right. So I'm going to right-click. Save image as, left click. Oh, there's some nice ones here. I'm going to have to remember this. I'm just making this up as I go. Okay, I have to give it a file in my computer. I'm just going to call it the Blues. I hope that saves as a JPEG. I believe it will. Okay, I have stored that in my Dropbox. You can see it right there. That is Windows Explorer. Okay, and now I want to make that the background for everything in my Excel spreadsheet except what I've already given a format to. So it shouldn't affect anything in this pale yellow or this bright yellow, but everything else I've left to the default white color. So now, if I want to make that blue my background, I'm going to take it and apply it to every individual cell, and that will become the background as you're about to see. How do you do that? Go up to your green bar. Third choice over is Page Layout. Okay? Now, there's a lot of power here as well. Now, if I come over here to Page Setup, in newer versions of Excel, you're going to click on that and then look for Background. Okay? In this version of Excel that I'm running on this operating system, I have in my ribbon a separate tab already. Okay? That's simply a difference in versions. Again, that's what it's going to be called in any version. It's just that you might have to look in a different place for it. So I'm going to change my background. Okay, what do I want to use? It's giving me a drop down and I'm going to get the Blues. I'm going to double left click on it, or I can single click and click insert. Either way, it does the same thing. Now look what happened. Every cell that I have not defined with another type of background, like the orange you see up here, is going to default to that new and improved color. Okay, I can still do everything that I've done before. It's simply that I don't have a white default any longer. If I want to go back to my conditional formatting, I can still do that as well. Conditional formatting for sales. Okay, highlight. Okay, anything less than 90,000. It does the same thing as before. All I've done is change my default cell appearance from that hard white color that Excel thinks that everyone wants to use to this fancy and funky blue that we've now used. There we have it. We have now gone through all the videos that you need to take your third and final quiz for badge number 2. Okay, so please expect a quiz file to be posted, and as usual, you will take the quiz, save the file on your computer, and then you will use, after the quiz link on the Excel badge course, the next link down will be to upload your file to me for corrections. All right, and that will do it. Next time I have the pleasure of your fine company, it will be, once we've corrected your exam and given you your badge, of course, it will be to start our series on Excel badge level 3, which will be for top proficiency. Okay? Have yourselves a wonderful day, and thank you for your continued working with me and your patience in reviewing these videos and taking our tests. I'm delighted to see that the number of people enrolled in our badge course has just broken 100, and we're going to take it way beyond that in the fall 2017 semester. Thanks. Have yourself a great week. Bye-bye.